Mate, so basically this, I remember when we read your book in the beginning, you talked about, or it was Tim Diath that spoke about...
Tim Dath.
Tim Diath, right? Safety is an industry in crisis. But your book's been around for a couple of years now. Just wondering if you think that? You've been around and you travel a lot. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, okay. So I won't answer for Tim,
Yeah,
but
totally.
I might give you a little bit of background on Tim Dath. If you haven't come across Tim, I was talking to him recently. If you haven't seen his work, hop on to that what is it, the Slice Inc. podcast?
Yeah, it's amazing, yeah.
Tim's on that. It's a brilliant podcast, and it just illustrates Tim, I think, for who he is. So I met him 2012 at a conference. No, this is 2012 is just before Safety Differently kind of got heard of, right? And he was a guy who's come off the tools, gone through the ranks, just landed himself a gig, multi-billion-dollar port expansion project. And he was a young fella. That was pretty impressive, but already he's found his own way to do safety. And so we collaborated. I think I've learnt more from Tim than he's learnt from me, but anyway.
Wow.
He went on to be head of safety at Melbourne Airport, so he's in the high reliability space. His frustration, I think, why I asked him, by the way, to do that forward, was when I wrote the book, I was really mindful of who my audience was. I didn't want to write for commentators or academics, right? Bloody academics. There's a lot of new view books out there written by academics, and when I read them, it sounds like they were written for academics. They're drier than a Qantas sandwich. You know, they're really dry stuff. Oh, you've had one.
That's why I fly virgin.
You've had one. Whereas Tim, when I wrote it, I wanted to write for people doing the job, people like yourself, people like Tim. And I thought, when it comes to the forward, who then should write it? The best leader I've worked with in 20 years, Tim Dath. Again, he doesn't get out there much. He said he likes to stay in his lane, but really connect with him. He just knows so much stuff. So yeah, opening line.
Yeah, it was, mate. Yeah.
Safety's an industry in crisis.
Yeah.
So, strong language.
Yeah.
Again, I won't speak for Tim. I think all he means is no matter where he's gone and done a brilliant job in whatever position he's been in, got really good results, even if you want to look at numbers. Where he sees a crisis is this stubborn resistance to change. How the field of safety and even health and safety professionals seem to want to not let go of some things that are outdated. Things like certain metrics, the stick and carrot approach. That's his frustration. I think it's frustration more than a genuine crisis, for me at least.
Yeah.
But I share his frustration.
Yeah, I think we're all doing right.
You know, there's a lot of evidence talking about some of the old stuff simply doesn't work, it gets in the way. Most people would understand that. His frustration is that people seem reluctant to change. I think though, as you read through the forward, it gets increasingly optimistic towards the end. And what he realises is, well, that's how it is. I can influence some people. And he's great at that. Oh, that's a lovely sound.
Shut up, Tony.
That is such a lovely sound. You keep that going, it's going to soothe us all as we go through. And so, look, Tim influences where he can, including regulators. He's pretty good at that too, in the high reliability space.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's a crisis, but anybody who's on LinkedIn a lot, and I reckon there's half the room, it doesn't. You put anything remotely current up there, and you just get slammed. It's clearly evident that there's still a lot of opposition to actually moving forward.
Decades and decades and decades of thinking, right?
Yeah.